Let us now review and reinforce the key ideas from this module with a short check in question. Question 1 asks, true or false, all emotions have a purpose? The correct answer is true. As we discussed earlier in this module, emotions are not random problems that need to be pushed away. They are natural signals from the mind and body. For example, fear may try to protect us from danger, anger may alert us that something feels unfair, sadness may show us that something important has been lost, and joy may help us connect with what matters to us. This does not mean every emotional reaction is always accurate or helpful in the moment. It means that every emotion carries information. When we pause and listen carefully, we can learn from that information instead of reacting automatically. This idea is the foundation for the rest of the module, because once we understand that emotions have a purpose, we can work with them more wisely. Now let us move to question 2, which focuses on one of the key practices from this module. The question asks, what does the A in RAIN stand for? The correct answer is allow. RAIN is the emotional mindfulness process we explored for handling difficult feelings with awareness and care. The steps are recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. The word allow is very important. It means we make space for the emotion to be present, at least for this moment, instead of fighting it, denying it, or pretending it is not there. Allowing does not mean liking the emotion. It does not mean giving up or letting the emotion control us. It simply means acknowledging reality. This is what I am feeling right now. This step matters because when we stop struggling against the emotion, we often become calmer and more able to understand it. In the next questions, we continue building on this skill of emotional awareness and regulation. Question 3 asks, why is naming emotions helpful? The correct answer is, it helps us recognize and regulate them. Earlier in the module, we learned that when we name an emotion clearly, such as saying, I feel disappointed, I feel embarrassed, or I feel overwhelmed, we begin to create a little distance between ourselves and the feeling. Instead of being completely carried away by the emotion, we become aware of it. This is important because awareness is the first step in regulation. If we do not know what we are feeling, it becomes much harder to respond wisely. Naming emotions can also help the brain shift from a more reactive state into a more thoughtful one. In simple terms, when we label what we feel, we often become less overwhelmed by it. So naming does not make emotions disappear instantly, but it helps us understand them, manage them, and choose better actions. This naturally connects to the next question, where we check your memory of the full RAIN sequence. Question 4 asks you to complete the RAIN sequence. Recognize. Down arrow. Down arrow. Investigate. Down arrow. Nurture. The missing word is allow. So the full sequence is recognize, allow, investigate, nurture. Let us quickly review what each step means. Recognize means noticing what emotion is present. Allow means letting the feeling be there, without immediately resisting it. Investigate means becoming curious about what is happening, perhaps noticing body sensations, thoughts, or what triggered the emotion. Nurture means responding with kindness, support, and wisdom. This sequence gives us a practical roadmap for working with emotions. Instead of reacting automatically, we pause, become aware, and respond with care. That idea leads directly into the next question, where you apply these skills to real life. Question 5 asks, describe one real-life situation where you could use the 3-step pause. This is a reflection question, so there can be many good answers. The goal is to help you connect mindfulness to your actual daily experiences. For example, you could use the 3-step pause before responding to a rude text message. In that moment, you might feel angry or hurt. Instead of reacting immediately, you pause. First, you notice what is happening inside you. Second, you take a slow breath and feel your body. Third, you choose your response more carefully. You could also use it before an exam, during an argument with a friend, after getting critical feedback, or when you feel stressed by schoolwork. The three-step pause is useful anytime emotions start to rise quickly and you need a moment to reset. This reflection is important because mindfulness becomes powerful only when it is used in real situations. Now that we have reviewed the key concepts, the next slides introduce resources that can help you continue practicing after this module. This slide introduces the downloadable resources for the module, beginning with the student workbook. The workbook is designed to help you review and apply what you have learned. It includes lesson summaries, which make it easier to remember the most important ideas from the module. It also includes an emotion wheel, which supports emotional vocabulary and helps you identify feelings more precisely. You will also find reflection activities, which give you a chance to think about your own experiences, patterns, and growth. In addition, there are RAIN practice sheets that guide you step by step through the process of recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. This workbook is not just extra reading. It is a practical tool for turning concepts into habits. The next resource continues this support through guided audio practices. This slide presents the guided audio collection, which gives you several ways to practice emotional awareness through listening. These recordings include a 15-minute emotion meditation, a 10-minute RAIN practice, a 5-minute emotional reset, an 8-minute exam anxiety meditation, and a 10-minute managing anger meditation. Each audio serves a different purpose. The longer practices help you build deeper awareness and calm. The shorter ones are useful when you need quick support during a busy school day. For example, the emotional reset can help you settle after a stressful moment, while the exam anxiety meditation is especially helpful before tests or study sessions. These audios are important because mindfulness is not learned only by understanding ideas. It becomes stronger through repeated practice. After audio support, the next resource helps you observe your emotional patterns in writing. This slide introduces the emotion journal. The journal gives you a simple structure for noticing and learning from your emotional experiences each day. Each page includes space for the situation, the emotion, the intensity from 1 to 10, body sensations, thoughts, response, and reflection. This format is helpful because emotions often move very quickly. Writing them down helps you slow the experience down and understand it more clearly. You may begin to notice patterns, such as certain situations that trigger stress, the body signals that appear before strong emotions, or the kinds of thoughts that make emotions stronger. The journal also helps you connect mindfulness with self-awareness. Over time, it can show you how your responses are changing and becoming wiser. After journaling, the next resource helps you build a richer emotional vocabulary visually. This slide presents the emotion wheel poster. The poster is a printable visual that shows a wide range of emotions beyond simple categories like happy, sad, angry, and afraid. This is useful because many emotional experiences are more specific than those basic words. For example, instead of simply saying bad, you might realize you feel frustrated, lonely, disappointed, nervous, ashamed, or overwhelmed. The more accurately you can identify what you are feeling, the easier it becomes to understand and regulate that emotion. This connects directly to what we discussed earlier in the module. Naming emotions helps reduce confusion and improves decision-making. The emotion wheel gives you language for that process. Once you can identify the emotion clearly, you are more prepared to move toward wise action, which is exactly what the next slide illustrates. This slide introduces the infographic called From Emotion to Wise Action. It shows a simple sequence. Trigger. Down arrow. Emotion. Down arrow. Pause. Down arrow. Awareness. Down arrow. Choice. Down arrow. Response. This sequence captures one of the most important lessons of the entire module. In daily life, something happens that is the trigger. An emotion arises naturally, but mindfulness helps us insert a pause before we act. In that pause, we gain awareness. With awareness, we have choice. And with choice, we can create a healthier response. Without that pause, people often move directly from trigger to reaction. This infographic reminds you that there is another path available. It is a visual summary of the emotional skills you have been building throughout the module. The next resource gives you a shorter version of one of those skills that you can carry with you. This slide presents the RAIN Quick Reference Card. This is a printable card that students can keep with them, perhaps in a notebook, folder, or study space. On the front, it lists the 4 steps: recognize, allow, investigate, nurture. On the back, it includes helpful reflection questions for each step. This card is useful because strong emotions do not always appear when we are calm and fully prepared. Sometimes we need quick support in the middle of stress, conflict, or overwhelm. In those moments, a short reminder can help us remember what to do. Instead of trying to recall the whole lesson, you can simply look at the card and move through the steps one by one. It turns the RAIN technique into something practical and portable. The next slide adds even more support by offering healthy strategies for responding to difficult emotions. This slide introduces the bonus PDF, 20 healthy ways to respond to difficult emotions. Some examples include mindful breathing, walking, journaling, talking with a trusted adult, listening to calming music, stretching, practicing gratitude, taking a mindful break, creative expression, and getting enough sleep. This resource is helpful because once you become aware of an emotion, the next question is often, what should I do now? This PDF gives you many healthy options. It also explains when each strategy is most useful, which makes it easier to choose the right response for a particular situation. For example, mindful breathing may help when you feel anxious, walking may help when you feel restless or angry, and talking to a trusted adult may help when you feel confused, stuck, or deeply upset. This resource supports the main goal of the module, moving from emotional reaction to wise, healthy response. Now, we are ready to bring the whole module together in the summary. This final slide is the module summary, and it brings together everything you have learned in Module 6. By the end of this module, you should understand that emotions are natural biological responses that provide valuable information. They are not signs of weakness, and they do not need to be suppressed. Instead, emotional intelligence begins with awareness. You also learned that naming emotions and noticing their physical sensations can reduce their intensity and improve decision-making. This is a powerful skill because it helps you move from confusion to clarity. Another key idea is that mindfulness creates a space between a trigger and a response. In that space, you are able to pause, notice, and choose more wisely. This is how mindfulness supports emotional regulation. Finally, you learned that the RAIN technique offers a practical and compassionate way to work with difficult emotions. Recognize, allow, investigate, and nurture. Rather than reacting automatically, you now have a step-by-step method for responding with awareness and care. This module marks an important stage in your learning journey. Earlier in the course, you practiced observing the mind. In this module, you went deeper by learning how to understand and work with emotions skillfully. These are life skills that can strengthen your resilience, relationships, self-awareness, and overall well-being in school and beyond. As you continue, remember this central idea: emotions are not enemies to fight. They are experiences to understand, manage, and respond to wisely.